Magandang araw at magandang gabi po sa mga nakakapanood sa gabi at sa lahat po ng naabot ng video nito. Welcome po dito sa AMBO Avoid Mix Videos. Ngayon po ay meron po tayong video na mula kay AI Telly, no? At ang kanyang topic ay tungkol dito sa mga hypersonic missile na to, no? Yung iba't ibang klase. So, na ngayon ay medyo talagang napapanahon at usong-uso, no? Pati ang Pilipinas, no, na bumili tayo nito, no? Hindi lang dahil uso. Alam mo naman ang mga Pilipino pag uso, gusto meron din. Pero yung binili natin ay mahal yan eh. Hindi lang dahil uso, dahil kailangan talaga natin as depensa. So, sige po, i-play na po natin itong video ni AI Telly nang marami tayong mapulot na kaalaman dito at sama-sama natin bigyan ng ating reaction at ng komento dyan sa comment box. So, i-play na po natin.
Hypersonic missiles are a challenging technology to master because they are so fast that if the U.S. launched a Scramjet missile, it could reach China in just 18 minutes, traveling at speeds of Mach 5 and above. These Scramjet engines...
So, yung Mach 5 pala, 18 minutes lang yun from America to China. Mabilis, no? Mach 5 above.
Collect oxygen from the atmosphere as they travel, mixing it with hydrogen fuel to create the combustion needed for hypersonic flight. Meanwhile, glide hypersonic vehicles like the Chinese Dongfeng 17 became the first to integrate into production with conventional and nuclear warheads. They are also designed to target you.
So, yung Dongfeng pala ay may conventional tsaka nuclear warhead. Yun yung sa China.
US aircraft carriers as they can change their trajectory mid-flight.
So, makita nyo, no? Yung actual trajectory niya puntang US, pero may kakayahan siya para baguhin, no? Para wasakin yung mga barko na pwedeng makasalubong nito.
This US Aero AGM hypersonic weapon is a missile within a missile which pops out its cover and uses only the glide vehicle kinetic energy.
So, yung nasa dulo niya, gaglide na lang.
Missile like the Kinzhal. More details all in the video ahead. To qualify as a hypersonic missile, it must possess three key attributes: speed, maneuverability, and accuracy. Let's look at speed. As we all know, Mach 1 represents the speed of sound, which serves as our benchmark.
So, sa mga hindi po nakakalam, ito po yung conversion, no? Yung 767.269 miles per hour or 1,234.7 km per hour. Yun yung tinatawag na Mach 1. Okay, salamat sa nag-upload ng video na ito.
To better understand this, let's make a few comparisons. Commercial airliners, for example, fly subsonically, just below Mach 1. In contrast, modern...
So, yung mga commercial, Mach 1 yun.
Fighter jets can travel supersonically, reaching speeds of Mach 2 or 3.
So, itong F-16 na balak bilhin ng Pilipinas ay Mach 2 or 3. No? Depende siguro sa klase ng F-16.
When we refer to hypersonic speeds, we're talking about anything Mach 5 and above. Space shuttles are an example of vehicles that travel hypersonically, often reaching speeds between Mach 20 and 24. But these can...
So, ito palang space shuttle ay tumatakbo ng ganyang katulad, no? Sa kabila ng laki niya, no? Tulad, no? Mach 20 and 24. Dahil po siguro doon sa nililiparan niya, wala ng gravity, no? Hindi na siya masyadong affecto ng gravity. At less air, no? Hindi kagaya dito sa mas mababang uri ng space o malapit sa kalupaan. May masasalubong kang mga hangin. At isa dito yung tinatawag nating gravitational pull.
But these can travel only for short distances at these speed. To sum it up, a hypersonic missile should cross Mach 25, which is around 19,000 miles per hour. But wait, that's not it. Hypersonic missiles should also have the capability of covering vast distances, such as from New York to Russia or from China to Texas and vice versa. There are three types of hypersonic missiles. The Scramjet air-breathing missile from America. Then comes the glide hypersonic missiles like the Chinese DF-17 and the American Arrow in full-form air-launched rapid response weapon. Finally, we have the Russian tried and tested Kinzhal missile.
So, madami palang klase, no?
between a ramjet and a scramjet missile in a super simplified animation.
So ito yung sinasabing scramjet at saka ramjet.
A good example of the ramjet engine is this BrahMos supersonic cruise missile.
Ito pong BrahMos, meron po tayo nito, no? Ito pa ramjet pala itong klase ng supersonic natin. Meron po tayo nito, nakabili po tayo nito mula sa India.
The ramjet's intake takes in high-pressure air from the region in front of a high-speed object moving through the air. The intake slows the air to subsonic speed, increasing its pressure and temperature. In the combustion chamber, fuel is mixed with the compressed air and ignited, causing it to rapidly expand. This high-pressure, high-temperature exhaust gas is expelled through the nozzle, providing propulsion for the vehicle. Let's take a look at how a scramjet engine works. Step 1. The engine draws in an immense volume of air at extremely high speeds. The air intake is a critical step as it ensures that the scramjet engine has the necessary oxygen supply for combustion at hypersonic velocities. In Step 2 phase, the fuel is injected into the engine and plays a dual role. Not only does it serve as the propellant, but also cools the engine walls. This cooling process is essential to prevent the engine components from overheating due to the intense friction and temperatures generated at hypersonic speeds. And Step 3, it is where combustion of the fuel and air mixture takes place. This is the most complex and critical part of the scramjet process. The challenge lies in maintaining stable combustion at speeds where the airflow can exceed 19,000 miles per hour. Engineering.
So marami palang level itong paghigop niya ng air papunta sa combustion.
Engineering this step requires a deep understanding of aerodynamics, thermodynamics, and fluid dynamics to ensure that the fuel continues to burn effectively under such extreme conditions. Finally, at Step 4, the energized high-temperature gases produced during combustion are then fed through the injectors. These gases are expelled at high velocities through the exhaust, generating thrust. This process accelerates the vehicle to speeds of Mach 5 and beyond, propelling it into the realm of
So matulid pala itong isa to, Mach 5.
hypersonic travel. Let's take a look inside a hypersonic missile. At the front is the cone, which can also accommodate a small warhead if needed. Just behind it are the batteries required for the avionics equipment, which guide the missile to its designated target. As a hypersonic missile, it still requires a fuel system to inject the right amount of hydrogen, which is stored in this tank here. Moving further back, we have the nozzle and adapter. Finally, we have the booster. Interestingly, this is a modified attack.
So yung kalahati pala nun, booster. Malamang ito isang long-range missile.
Modified ATACMS supersonic missile. This missile has been used on the MLRS platform and can reach speeds of up to Mach 1. When it reaches a certain altitude, the missile separates from the booster, allowing it to activate the scramjet engine to reach 5 times the speed of sound. Reports say that China has successfully launched the hypersonic glide vehicle, also called the Dongfeng 17 or East Wind in
So yun nga, no? Yung may mga booster na ganyan, mostly mga long range, no?
Chinese. The primary difference between the Chinese and American hypersonic missiles is that the American Arrow is launched from a Boeing B-52 as his primary transport, while the Chinese hypersonic missile is launched from a 5-axle transporter erector launcher, the WS-2500, produced by Wanshan. The DS-17 is a $120 million solid-fueled weapon, measures around 11 meters in length, and weighs around 15,000 kilograms. When compared to a person, it looks huge. Let's take a look at its parts and functions. The DS-17 has 2 stages. The first one has a standard ballistic booster, and the second stage contains a low-flying projectile. This is used for attacking a target following the first stage's ballistic re-entry. The booster is being borrowed from this DF-16, which again is a short-range ballistic missile. While at the top is this hypersonic glide vehicle, which can fly on a lower trajectory than intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Ito yung dinidiscuss niya. Ito yung sa China, no, di ba? So, hindi biro itong ginawa ng China na ito, no? Na sinasabi na mag-aalangan ka kung kakalabanin mo. So, ito, sarili nila itong design. O either maaaring may pinagkopyahan sila. Tapos dinevelop nila. So may mga ganyan, no?
Continental ballistic missiles, making them harder to intercept. Interestingly, China has also designed these weapons to destroy Western or U.S. aircraft carriers apart from it carrying conventional and nuclear warhead. Let's take a look at how this works. When ready, the 10x10 heavy-duty military truck can turn the launcher to a 90-degree angle.
So itong tinatawag nito mga vertical launch missile po ito.
At a press of a button, it will launch the solid-state's booster to a certain altitude. This booster will initiate separation and launch the glide vehicle, and will then drop to a very low altitude. But the difference is that this can fly close to land or sea. By doing this, it avoids being detected by radar. That's not it. It can also change its trajectory mid-air at a staggering speed of Mach 5. This can become a huge threat for a carrier strike group to detect and destroy this missile anything within a range of 2,500 km, which translated to around 1,500.
Ganun yata yung in-order natin, yung tinatawag na BrahMos, no? Or yung isa sa Typhoon missile. Kung lumipad ito ay mababa lang para undetectable ng radars.
Apart from the Russian Zircon hypersonic missile, which we haven't seen tested, let's take a look at the Kinzhal missile. As you can see, these are very similar. Some analysts believe they even share many components with the infamous Iskander land-based ballistic missiles. Comparing this to a person will help you understand its size.
Ang galing meron silang comparison na hindi ka na magtatansya pa o magko-compute pa. Binibigay nila yung isang size sa sukat ng tao dun sa size ng missile. Napakagandang idea po yan.
Size, since it's really huge. Starting from the bottom, we have the ejection pod. The second section consists of steerable fins attached to these jet vanes. The third part of the missile is the rocket motor. This is the missile's guidance section. Finally, the last part is the warhead section, which weighs around 500 kilograms.
So ito yung tinatawag na warhead, no? Yun yung sumasabog. Doon nilalagay kung anong klaseng pampasabog yung ibabala mo sa isang missile. Actually, itong mga hypersonic missile, isang booster lang na pump. Ito yun, para siya, yung lumipad, no? Kung mas long range, mas malaki yung part ng booster. Pero yung pinakapampasabog nito, nasa dulo po, no? Ang alam ko, yung mga missile na binili natin na BrahMos ay capable po. Capable po ang BrahMos sa isang nuclear warhead.
500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds. All of this engineering propels the missile to an astonishing terminal speed of Mach 12, which is approximately 14,700 kilometers per hour or 9,207 miles per hour. It is reported to have a range of 2,000 kilometers or 1,242 miles. Let's look at how this works. Step 1. The missile requires a platform, such as the MiG-31 Foxhound, which is a long-range supersonic interceptor. It can go up to a maximum speed of Mach 1.4 at low altitudes, which was the fastest in the 1980s. Step 2. The pilot releases the missile and the protective cap ejects at a safe distance.
So ito yung mga missile naman na kinikerry ng jet, no? Na hindi na kailangan ng booster, no? Inilalaglag na lang sila, tapos controllable naman. Pag kaya na binitawan, doon na yan mag-eject sa ere, no? Pag binitawan niya ng jet. So ito yung isang klase ng missile, no? Air to air, o meron sinasabing air to ground. Meron naman kasi yung nag-glide lang, yung bomb. Actually, yung sa Hiroshima, isang bomba lang yan. Hindi pa ngayon sumasayad sa lupa, sumabog na. Hindi naman talaga yung pinababagsak sa lupa. Lalo na yung mga ganong kalalaking bomb. Mas effective yon kung sasabog siya sa ere. No? Yung with the distance doon sa lupa, sa grounds. So, tuloy natin.
Step 3. After a few seconds, the missile's engines ignite, allowing it to accelerate to supersonic speeds. These can also be upgraded with a nuclear warhead, making it one of the most dangerous weapons on the battlefield.
So, even yung mga aeroplano na gano'n, jet fighter, nagtataglay sila ng mga nuclear warhead, no? Pero, siyempre, may mga sukat ng sabog yan. Depende sa laki, no? Dami. ng nuclear warhead na inilagay doon sa isang missile.
The American AGM air-launched rapid response weapon ARROW is a hypersonic missile developed by Lockheed Martin with a price tag of $18 million and a program cost of $2.2 billion.
Ang mahal, tapos sasabog lang, no? Ganyang kahalaga yung mga missile na yan, no? Napakamahal para kumitil lang ng buhay, no? At para ipagtanggol mo yung bansa mo. Yan ang gera, no? Pinupondohan.
It consists of two main components, a booster rocket and a glide vehicle, housed beneath a protective cover. Like the Chinese, this glide vehicle can hit speeds of around Mach 5 and above. Let's take a look at how this works. The B-52 bomber currently serves as the primary launch platform. It can carry around 4 missiles under each wing. When a target is identified, the B-52 flies approximately 3,000 miles towards the target. The missile is then dropped after a few seconds, and the booster engine is then activated, covering around a few hundred miles. The covers pop off, revealing a glide vehicle underneath this warhead. It then detaches unpowered and travels up to a speed of Mach 20.
Yan pong maliit na yan, yan po yung napakahirap i-intercept, no? Kaya yung sinasabi, masyado siyang maliit, no? Kaya yung sinasabi, impossible to intercept at napakabilis pa. Kaya nakakatakot talaga ang gera ngayon, ano? Halos hindi mo na yan makita, magugulat ka na lang.
It travels up to a speed of Mach 20, creating impact powerful to a bomb. After reaching a suitable altitude, the glide vehicle drops to a specific height, skimming the sea or land surface while changing directions to avoid any anti-air missile systems. This system was intended to target, destroy, or disable Russian and Chinese aircraft carriers. However, reports suggest that the $2 billion program was a failure, as unofficial testing and experimentation.
Wow, hindi pala gumana yun. Failure, yung 2 billion ba yun? Grabe. Dami nang matutulungan nun.
Are ongoing at this moment. We also make original engineering content, so please subscribe
Yung
and
naalala ko na
notification bell
yung
for more videos.
part na yun. Hindi nila na malaman kung saan napunta, no? Nagpaputok sila. Ano yun eh, US po ang nag-launch nung gano'n. Binalita pa yan sa Google, nakikita ko. Hindi nila nakita kung saan napunta yung gano'n, no? Naligaw na. So, dyan po natatapos yung video na yun, no? Doon sa kanina. Sana po nakapulutan natin to ng aral, no? At dito nakita natin kung gaano kadelikado itong mga hypersonic missile, no? Kung paano ito hindi basa-basa nasasalag at kung paano ito ka-epektibo, no? At nakita naman natin yung isa sa mga hypersonic missile, no, ay meron tayo yung BrahMos, no? At sinasabi nila to game changer ito, no? Kaya sa isang banda mag-aalangan ang China kasi may missile na tayo at supersonic, hypersonic, ano. So, dito, makikita natin na halos nagiging pantay kahit paano yung labanan. At pinipilit ng gobyerno natin na kasalukuyang gobyerno, no, na ma-afford yan mga yan, no? Jet fighters, missiles, yung second batch yata, third batch ng BrahMos yung parating ngayon, no? At bibil pa tayo ng Akash, may Typhoon pa. May support pa yung US na tinatawag natin Nemesis, no? So marami ng klase ng missile meron tayo ngayon. At sinasabi natin effective, game changer talaga. Merong binabalita na binili tayo pero may mga tinatawag natin na news blackout na hindi natin alam kung ilan ba talaga yung binili. So yun po yung mga sikreto na hindi na dapat malaman pa ng publiko, no? Dahil ito ay makakaapekto na baka maikatalo pa dahil kasi kaya nga merong mga espiya, no? Inaalam nila yan. Do dapat hindi na yan malaman, no? O isa publiko pa kung ilan yung binili, kung yun ba talaga o kung meron pa bang ibang jet maliban sa FA-50 na binili natin, o baka may kasamang KF-21 yun, hindi natin alam. So yung mga ganyan hindi na natin dapat pang sa publiko kasi yan po yung tinatawag ng mga top secret na pwedeng ikapanalo sa larangan ng digmaan. So hanggang dito na lang po, maraming salamat po.